This episode is brought to you by Dallas Hemp Co., home of the infused dinner.
This is Rick Roberts, sports agent with the Ballengee Group, and I'm gone in 60 seconds.
Skirt.
Rick,
How you doing, my man?
so for the people who don't know you, please introduce yourself.
I'm Rick Roberts, sports agent with Ballengee Sports Group here in Dallas, Texas.
Okay, and how, if you don't mind, could you explain to us how did you got into sports agency?
I started off years ago. I was training athletes. Ended up meeting a sports agent, starting a sports agency with him, just building it up from there. Then I had the opportunity 4 years ago to come here with James Ballengee in Dallas,
Okay.
build the Ballengee Group up from there.
Okay, so being a sports agent, first of all, you got to know a lot about sports, of course, especially the sport of choice.
You do. You really do. And it took a lot of hands-on, just that everyday grind of learning football players, what it took to make it into the NFL. Because at first I really kind of went by, just believing the numbers, the stats. And there's so much more than that as far as making sure that, what they've done in college, making sure that the health records, things went together to show that they were the athlete it would take.
Most definitely. So take us through the day in the life of a sports agent. What is your daily routine every day, just on a regular I know it's not a 9 to 5, but just what is it like getting up every day, and what is your schedule like on a day-to-day basis?
What's funny is I think that you're right. I don't look at it as a 9 to 5 or whatever. It's 24 hours. I mean, it's because you never know when the phone's going to ring. I wake up every morning, 6 a.m., go through my list of emails, phone calls, people to return, things that I need to do that day. And I normally get that done between 6 and 9. And then the day starts from there, really, as far as contacting teams, going over any free agents we have available, what team needs are, any players that's injured, checking up on their injuries, checking up on the rehab, things that they need to do to make sure to get them back onto the field. And that's every day. And then normally I'll take a lunch break with one of the guys from the office to go through what's going on with them, with the rest of the office, and just making sure everything's covered.
Okay, and what's the busiest time of the season? Because you would think naturally during the season is the busiest time. So is it busier during the off season or during the actual season?
The actual season's really, probably busier between August to say December, because we're in the process of evaluating talent for the upcoming draft, for the next year's draft. We're also checking on all of our players in the NFL at that time, checking in on families, man. We're probably checking on families more than we do the player, because the family is in contact with the player a lot more than we are normally.
Most definitely.
Because the player's handling his business. On the football field, he's doing the things he needs to do. So we're in contact with normally the families every week of every one of our players, and then talking to the players at least once a week also.
Okay, also being an agent, what are some of the qualities that you have to possess in order to get the job done every day? Because I'm sure it has to be overbearing what you have in your own family, and then when you recruit these players, they're becoming your newfound family as well. So it's kind of like you're a dad, a brother, an uncle, 24/7. So how's that process every day?
It is, man. Just that everyday process of making sure that you do the things you say you're going to do. In this business, that's the biggest thing, is make sure you do what you say you're going to do. So staying in touch with the players and just going through that every day, making sure that everything's done for all of them, but at the same time, maintaining your own family. My family really is the players and my family together. I think I have a 14-year-old son that communicates with my players and talks to them and goes over football. You met Chris, my right-hand guy. Chris is constantly in contact with everybody, every situation going on with every one of them.
Okay, so I got to ask you this. Who's winning the Super Bowl this year? It's kind of
that is hilarious, because everybody always asks me, Rick, what's your favorite team? Well, the team that's paying our players the most is my favorite team.
Definitely so. So if you had a choice, and where are you from, by the way?
I'm actually from Mississippi originally, been in Louisiana the last 18 years in Louisiana, but kind of grew up a Saints guy, but back when I was coming through in the 70s and 80s, Saints weren't real good back then. So we kind of had the Cowboys, the Raiders, the Steelers, those guys. Always been fond of the Cowboys. They're right down the street from us. I love having players on the Cowboys because I live here in Frisco. So I love having players there and being able to visit them, see them a lot, while they're here during the off season. Also, I think we're one of the only sports agencies that does take care of our players in off season training. So we have a majority of our players are here in Dallas during off season training.
Okay, and what is the biggest perk about being a sports agent?
I think the biggest perk about being a sports agent is watching how it can change lives. watching what truly means of everyone saying there's generational wealth, but us at Ballengee trying to put things into place to make sure it's actual generational wealth.
Most definitely.
And working with each one of our young players, their families, to understand that what they do now in 10 years, they can be retired for the rest of their life and take care of their kids and their grandkids.
Most definitely. And what's next for Rick and the Ballengee Sports Group agency?
Continue to grow. We build it the right way. We build it with good people who are great players, and we build it every year with a fewer amount of players than most agencies do because we want that relationship. So this year we'll sign another 5-6 guys. They'll go in the top 3 rounds of the draft, and we'll continue to build this thing the way we do.
Most definitely. Where can we find you on social media?
You can look on the I have Instagram. You can look on the NFLPA and look up Richard Roberts. You can look at me Facebook, so I have all of them. It's just under Richard Roberts.
Okay, and if you had 60 seconds to speak to anybody, dead or alive, who would it be and what would the conversation consist of?
Man, that's a tough one, bro. You do, man. See this. It's gonna sound funny, man, but James Ballengee started the Ballengee Group with me. Okay. That's my guy, bro. So sitting down with James, talking business and life is probably one of the best things that I have, and it's helped me build into what I've done at Ballengee Group and as a person. And I ain't shooting for a raise or nothing, man. Me and James good. So
most definitely.